Sonika. I'm a 10th grader at Chirek International School, and today I'm going to be talking about a cause that's very important to India, which is organ donation. Before I start, I would like to thank Mr. Vardaraj, Ms. Isha, and Mr. Ranvijay for this wonderful opportunity to present here. This month is actually, today is actually Organ Donation Day in India. So it's really exciting to be presenting and speaking here today. So I'm gonna start with a little trivia. Does anybody know what the number 4 lakh stands for? It can stand for a lot of things. For one, it's the population of Iceland. It's also the amount of people who die every single year in India because there's a lack of organs. And I think there are two main reasons for this. One is there's a huge supply-demand gap. So if you're looking at this, you can see that supply actually lags demand by almost 40 times. And in some extreme cases, like the liver, for example, supply actually lags demand by almost 280 times, which is huge. The second reason is in India, we live in the country with one of the highest populations, yet there is such a low organ donation rate of not even 1 donor per million. We have a 0.8 per million donation rate, which is so low compared to other countries. And while all this is devastating, one donor, which means each and every one of us here, actually has the potential to save and make an impact on up to 8 lives by pledging our organs. So I hope I've shown you what an important issue this is, especially in India. Now getting into what I'll be speaking about today, there are 4 main things I want to cover. One is what exactly is organ donation. So I'm going to be explaining what it is, how it takes place. Then I'm going to be talking about the importance of talking to your friends and family regarding organ donation. Then I'll show you how to sign up. And last but not least, I'll tell you what's to be done at the time of donation. So the first thing is, what is organ donation? So the basics I'm sure you all know, which is organ donation is donating your organs to people who are in need of them. And now this can be done in 2 ways. One is while the donor is alive, and the other way is after the donor is no more. But today I'll be focusing on donation after death. So again, when you talk about donation after death, there are 2 ways in which this can happen. One is if the donor passes away due to cardiac death, and one is when they pass away due to brain death. And I know that talking about death, organ donation might be a little uncomfortable to some people. So just for this 1 or 2 slides, just bear with me while I speak about how it happens. So cardiac death and brain death, these terms might be a little new to some of you. So to explain the difference, cardiac death is when the heart stops beating, or when someone dies due to natural causes. However, brain death is when the brain stops functioning, but usually the other organs are in good condition. And now, a very common misconception that I come across a lot is that the brain death is the same as coma. And these 2 things are actually very different. When a person is in a coma, you can see them come out of the coma sometimes. And that is because there is still some activity going on in the brain which makes a recovery possible. However, when someone has passed away due to brain death, there is absolutely 0 activity going on in the brain, which is why a recovery is impossible. And of course, a lot of tests are done to confirm that someone is brain dead. So now, just to walk you through some of the major organs and tissues that can be donated. So I think you can notice 2 things over here. One is the organs and tissues that can be donated differ, whether the person has passed away due to brain death or cardiac death. And the second and most important thing is the time. So if you can see here, each organ has a certain lifespan in which it must be donated. And if that time limit is exceeded, the organ is no longer eligible for donation. So the donation should be happening as soon as possible. And for a donation to happen as soon as possible, you need to have someone to be able to call the organization, which is why it's very important to consult your family. So it is your family who will be calling an organization, telling them that they're ready for the organ donation, and that's how the process goes forward. Another thing to take note is that even if you have pledged your organs and said that you will donate them, but at the time of donation, your family ends up saying no, then the donation process will not go forward, which is another reason of why it's so important to talk to your family. Another thing is you should also be talking to your friends, because you have to understand that it may not be the first thing that comes to your family members' minds to donate the organs, which is why it's good to speak to a friend and let them know about your wishes, and maybe if your family does not remember, then the friends can remind them. So now the next thing, I've talked about statistics, I've talked about what organ donation is, and I've shown you the importance of talking to your family. But how do you actually take action and get signed up? So before I get into that, I want to talk about NATO. NATO stands for the National Organization of Organ and Tissue Transplant. It is an organization under the Ministry of Health in India that completely takes care of organ donation and has been doing some amazing work towards it. They've actually streamlined the whole sign-up process and made it so easy that all you have to do is fill out a Google form and it takes you less than 5 minutes. So if you fill out that Google form, you usually get your donor card within a day. Now, you've pledged your organs, but what is your family supposed to do when it's actually time to donate? So again, thanks to NATO, this is very simple for the family members. The first thing they should be doing is call NATO. And NATO's phone number is given on the donor card. Then they have to read out the donor's ID number to NATO. And then NATO has made this process so efficient that wherever you are in India, say right now you live in Hyderabad, but when the time comes you're in Delhi, then NATO will actually coordinate with the nearest hospital in Delhi and make sure that the process goes through. So I hope I've shown you the importance of organ donation in India and how big of an impact each and every one of us can make. Here are so many examples, recent examples of how organ donation has been saving lives. Just taking an example of the youngest person here. There was a 9-year-old who passed away, sadly, and his parents actually made the commendable decision to donate his organs, and through that he was able to save 2 other lives. So this is just one of the many examples of how someone can be saving lives after life. So if you want to sign up and if you're interested, what you can do is scan this code. It will take you to a form and you can sign up to be an organ donor. After you sign up, I'm also doing a lucky draw of 2 Starbucks gift cards worth 500 rupees. So if you want to enter that lucky draw, after you sign up, you can scan this code. You scan it and it'll take you to my WhatsApp chat, and you can just message me your name and your phone number and say that you've signed up to be an organ donor. So I'm open to any questions if anyone has anything. And thank you so much for listening to me today.
Why do you think there's such little awareness about this in India?
I think it has a lot to do with different people have different beliefs. There are a lot of myths regarding organ donation, and it's actually really surprising because a lot of people today still believe in those myths. The most common one, just for example, is that if I donate my organs in my next life, I will not be born without them. So I think it's those kind of myths and everything that people don't even like to think about the topic. And so there's very little awareness because of that.
I have a question. What inspired you to support this cause in particular?
So 2 years ago, my grandfather passed away, and it was always his wish to donate his organs. It was something he was really passionate about, but sadly he couldn't because he passed away due to COVID. And I thought that doing this project and helping raise awareness and getting people to sign up was a really good thing I could do in honor of him.
So, are like those are the only things cardiac arrest and brain dead? That's where only you get to donate, or is there any way like the person dies in any other way and still be able to donate?
Yeah, so when a person dies, it's classified into only two things. Like there is no other way. So yeah, they can donate it like no matter how they die. Yeah.
So I have a question. What if you die in an accident, and what if your organs are probably damaged?
So then like yeah, if a couple of organs are damaged, then obviously you can't. But like if you die in a circumstance like that and some organs are not damaged, then those can be eligible for donation if you get to the hospital quick enough.
But would NATO take the chance of trying to inspect the body of what organs are usable?
So, whatever the cause of death, if the organs are fine, they
If-
can be donated.
Yeah, if the organs are fine, then they can be donated.
This was really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you want to sign up, you can scan these QR codes and do it, or you can come to me if you have anything else.
Sanika, would you share this with me? We'll circulate it to other people as well who couldn't join in.
Oh, yeah.
And because we did get a couple of questions for people who are not here,
Mm-hmm.
that would we be able to also
Yeah.
sign up for the people are at meetings, so they might not have been able to come. So if you share this QR code with me, and you shared your email address, I'll tell some of the people who are interested that they can maybe talk to you if they have any questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's completely fine. So yeah, then I'll share this with you. And thank you so much for listening and being here today.
Thank you so much.